Hey there, my name is Isaac Arthur and I'm from CODO Design here in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I want to welcome you back to our Craft Beer Rebranded series, where we're diving into some of the topics, chapter, and theory from our new book, Craft Beer Rebranded. You can grab your own 2-book bundle over at craftbeerrebranded.com and learn how to brand, or I guess rebrand, your brewery. So if you're a marketing director, a communications person, a brewery owner, head of sales, or one of our brothers in arms, an in-house designer, we wrote this book to help you navigate each step of your brewery's rebrand. Check it out over at craftbeerrebranded.com. And I've been looking forward to this video for a while. Today we're going to discuss your brewery's brand voice and essence. So starting off, your brand voice is how you consistently communicate your values, personality, all things like that through words, no matter the channel or audience. And to begin framing this, you need to get a sense of where people will come in contact with your brand and let the medium itself drive how you deliver your messaging. We give you a full rundown on how to audit each of these channels and tailor your messaging accordingly in the Craft Beer Rebranded workbook, so check that out there. For now, I want to walk you through how to define the right personality for your brand. One of the best ways to frame your brand personality is to think about the following question. If your brewery were a person, what sort of personality traits would it have? This doesn't have to be a specific person. You know, sometimes it can be. Think Sam Calagione, Zach Galifianakis, or maybe Charles Bronson. If your brewery's brand personality is Charles Bronson, please call me right now because I want to work with you. One of our favorite examples of how a brand personality can shape a brewery's brand universe is Big Lug Canteen in Indianapolis, Indiana. So back in 2014, craft beer was a lot more sanctimonious, with overly serious men crafting overly serious beer in dark brew pubs. And Eddie and Scott wanted to make fun of this in themselves a lot. And if you swing by their brewery, you'll see irreverent words like decent and all right in their menu to describe their beer and food, along with their tagline, stoner food for beer drinkers, which is phenomenal. This approach is realized across the brewery name itself, Big Lug Canteen, and their merch, beer names, environmental design, and social media. Quick note here, Eddie has been promoting negative Untapped and Yelp reviews long before that became cool, and I'm really a fan of that because anyone that actually takes the time to review something on Yelp deserves the most aggressive wedgie you can dish out. Okay, moving on. Here are a few voices that you can explore. Irreverent, serious, countercultural, lifestyle-oriented, think outdoorsy, tech, foodie, or sentimental. We have you and your team complete a spectrum exercise in the Craft Beer Rebranded workbook, and this is a cool way of having you guys select where on these spectrums you think your brewery falls or should fall through this rebranding process, and it will help you get a better grasp on your brand's personality. This is fairly self-explanatory, so I'm not going to dive into it really here. Check that out in the workbook again for a deeper look. So now let's switch to discuss your brewery's brand essence. So your brand is your customer's perception of your company, including your products and your culture. It's their gut feeling about you that shapes how they positively, negatively, or perhaps worse, don't regard you. Your brand is your reputation. That's the simplest definition. It's an idea that lives inside people's heads and comes into play when they're making recommendations to friends, deciding where to go out for an evening, or at that moment of truth when they're standing in front of a cooler packed with colorful and charismatic beer packaging, all vying for their attention. So while we can't jump directly into people's heads to manipulate their ideas, we can shape your story and the way you tell it so that people will have an easier time figuring out what you do, what you stand for, and why they should care. We do this by defining your brand essence. Now, your brand essence is a distillation of the most compelling idea behind your brewery. It's your hook, it's your why, your mission, vision, values, and positioning, all wrapped up into a concise statement. For a process standpoint, this is a mostly internal brand strategy tool to capture the spirit of your brewery as opposed to a public-facing statement or tagline. So think of it as a way of driving every decision that you make from the moment of its definition through the entire rebranding process. Now, if we can get super specific and granular on your messaging now, it will make all of your branding work downstream, the visual graphic design stuff, more consistent, clear, and easier. Some examples here, and some of our favorite brand essences that we framed with our clients would include Stomping Grounds, Wild Alaska, Pioneering Spirit, Shot in a Beer, and Blue Collar Scientist is a great one. So now let's bring all of this together. Your positioning, your core values, your audience, and your voice to develop your brand essence. How do we do this? You will be completing this activity in the workbook as well at craftbeerrebranded.com. But for now, let's take a look at the brand essence that we defined with Prost Brewing during their rebrand and see how this actually drove their brand strategy and design process itself. So quick background here. Prost is a 6-year-old brewery in Denver, Colorado. They're extremely popular, and their traditionally brewed German beers regularly earn high international praise and awards. As they were gearing up for a statewide expansion and to launch the competitive California and Texas markets, they wanted to update their old branding to match their world-class beer, German-style beer. One of the biggest questions we were wrestling with this entire rebrand was how much do we modernize the traditional German look and feel? You know, using traditional German iconography that you see in that sort of space, so like Bavarian flags, Lederhosen, Das Boots, while a bit expected, are a good way to instantly communicate Prost differentiator. You know, it's all Reinheitsgebot beer. It's brewed on an authentic German brewing system that was flown over piece by piece from Germany. They use all imported German ingredients. They're about as German as you can get without being in Germany. But those aesthetics might not land well in the urbane Denver beer scene, where the level of design is frankly much, much higher than most of the other markets in the country that we've visited. This led to framing their brand essence as Berlin modern and gave us a path to marrying the traditional German look and feel, so with this beautiful custom black letter typography, hints of gold and beautiful maker's marks, with the precision and confident aesthetics found within contemporary East Berlin. I'll throw up a snapshot here of that brand essence chart. Pause here if you want to take a closer look at this, or head over to craftbeerrebranded.com to check the whole project out in more detail. And I will say that this is important because it gives us a clear communication foundation that informed Prost's entire updated brand identity, their enormous packaging system, website, merch program, environmental design, sales material, and dozens of other touch points. And I bring all this up to say that this is a great example of how branding can and should permeate every single aspect of your business. It's not just a surface level logo. It's not just a tagline. It's everything. It's your entire universe. And I think that covers everything for today. Next time we get together, we're going to be discussing how to define your brewery's audience during the rebranding process. Thanks for your time. I want to again invite you over to craftbeerrebranded.com. You can read this for free, or if you want to ball out of control, you can buy yourself a book bundle today. Check it out, and we will be back with you guys soon. Cheers.